Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
Your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is. It's a pleasure to be in your presence. Got a lot going on today.
Yeah, we've got good folks from the prosecutor office here.
Yes, we got the chief deputy here who's going to be talking about an event that's coming up on the 23rd of July. Second Chance Workshop, which I think it is good for the prosecutor to get out in the community and be able to discuss issues with the community, and especially about expungement. This is what this is about, and other issues as it relates to license, driver's license issues. Prosecutor's office is ready to handle that. And so they're going to tell us even those who are indigent have opportunity to get this taken care of as well. So we're going to see how it works out.
That's very important.
Yeah, it is.
You can't get to work, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just get out there and drive anyway.
Yeah, you don't work, you don't eat, they say.
Yeah.
And then in Indianapolis, if you don't work and you get caught, you're going to jail.
That's called driving dirty.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure everybody gets cleaned up.
Yeah, we do.
But before we get to that, we certainly are grateful for you all being here with us. I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, Lee Cossack and Crawley are still with us. We have Marion County Health Department, who's talking about the Safe Sleep Program. Firm and Prayer Christian Academy is with us, helping us to maintain our status quo here on TV 40, which is a family of entertainment and information. And we hope that you will continue to watch us.
And go to YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube, like us, and subscribe while you're there. Please go to Facebook, put WHMB TV 40 in the search field, and you can look at all the wonderful things we have there on WHMB TV 40 on Facebook and social media.
Yeah, and I think if you remember, we had Dr. Kane was our first show.
Yeah.
We need to bring her back.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And we'll be back after this. Welcome back, and we're joined by Chief Trial Deputy from the Prosecutor's Office, Marion County, Ryan Mears.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thanks for joining us today. You guys got a great event coming up on the 23rd of July.
Yes, we do. So on July 23rd at the Marion County Health Department, which is essentially at 38th and Keystone at 4012 North Rural Street, we're going to host our first annual Second Chance Fair. And at this Second Chance Fair, individuals who would like to get convictions expunged or also address maybe some traffic issues or some driver's license issues that we have, we're really looking forward to the opportunity of providing those individuals with the opportunity to get expungements and also address any outstanding driving issues. We're going to have a number of private defense attorneys there to assist people with this process, and then we're also going to have a number of prosecutors there as well, so hopefully we can help people get their convictions expunged and also get them licensed and legal so they can drive legally on the streets.
We need to be clear too that this is not a safe surrender program. Although the prosecutor's office works with safe surrender, we'll be talking about that later. This is a totally different program that will help the community in various ways, and we're happy to be a part of that. I think this is phenomenal for the prosecutor to come out of his office and bring something like this to the community. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate you making that point. This is not for people who have outstanding warrants or anything like that. We're here to address prior convictions, prior arrests, and then individuals who maybe your license is suspended because you couldn't show up for a court date, maybe you didn't have the money to pay some of your tickets. We want to help those people and address those issues. That's the purpose of this event. I also want to thank you, Pastor Moore. You know, when we've had the opportunity to go out into the community and say, hey, what can we do as a prosecutor's office to help people? You know, we told you about some of the programs that you had, and you made a very good point. You know, we need to do a better job of bringing these programs to the community. I think so oftentimes people think, well, I don't have an attorney, there's filing fees associated with this. These are great laws, but how do I take advantage of it? And this is really our opportunity to come out to the community and say, we're going to take care of all of that for you. If you don't have the financial resources, we're there to help you. We're going to provide attorneys, and the prosecutor's office is truly here to help. And so I can't thank you enough, the Baptist Minister Alliance, everyone who's kind of partnered with us to make this event happen.
You know, I've been under the impression for a long time that the prosecutor's office is not a bad office. It just has to maintain the law. And I think the community needs to know how the processes work inside of that office, and I think this is something that's really going to be commendable. Now, if you do it the first time, and it's a success, you're going to have to do it again, because people are going to be looking for this opportunity to make sure that they can get in the process of expungement and things of those nature, and then to say that if you don't have the resources, come anyway. Tell us how that's going to work.
Yeah, so I hope there are more of these events, because we want to help as many people as possible, and we want to put as many people as possible in a position to be successful moving forward. I mean, that's our goal on both the expungement and the driver's license part of this. So I hope that we're on your show again promoting this event in the future. The response has been incredible. When we set this out, we've already had 260 people sign up. We actually currently have a waiting list, and so we're trying to reach out to as many people as possible to try to make this event as successful as we can.
An indigent person, if we might, who has this problem, Pastor Jackson, how can they get help, and where can they go? Can they go to the local pastor, or to somewhere to where they can get paperwork to where this? Tell us how that's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things that we have is a lot of times it's access to justice, and people think that there's barriers for me to get my expungement or to get my driver's license issued, to get my license restored. And so this event's going to address this. I'm glad you brought up the point of indigency. The statute actually allows for, if you are found to be indigent, you do not have to pay your filing fee on an expungement,
which is about $150.
Yes, $170, I believe. Right. And so with this affidavit, which we're going to provide to pastors like yourself, pastors like you, to the Baptist Ministers Alliance, so you can provide that to people. So when they fill out, or when they file their application, they can have that affidavit saying, hey, I don't have the financial resources to pay, therefore I should be found indigent, and then there'll be no filing fee associated with it. We at the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, we want to be a good partner in that. And so if there are individuals who are indigent, we're going to agree, we're going to stipulate and say, hey, we agree with you, there shouldn't be a filing fee attached to your petition on this expungement.
Well, you and I discussed that heavily, because there are a lot of people who are out there, Pastor Jackson, who want to participate in this program, but because of resources, they cannot do it. And I think the prosecutor's office needs to be commended on that. You say you have 260 online after they see this show. You'll have more than that now. And we hope that, we hope that, and my prayer is that you get 700 people, 800 people. I hope that you're overflowing with people to where you realize that it's a need in the community, that you have to do it next year. That's my prayer, that you have a multiplicity of people who will respond to this.
And we're hoping that's the case. And again, we're here to serve all members of our community, regardless of their financial status or maybe whatever mistakes they might have done in the past. And we want to make sure that we serve everybody from all different sides of the community. And so, I want to make the point, this is the first one. This is something that we hope to replicate, duplicate in the future with the help of individuals like you. I think we'll be in a position moving forward where this can be something that countywide we can cover all areas geographically of the county.
And I think it needs to be said, Pastor Jackson, I don't know, this is the first one. And just because it's the first one does not make it a polished program. And so what we're looking at is trying to learn what to do for the next one. And so there's going to be some kinks in it, but they'll be worked out on site, and hopefully that people will get their needs met.
And Ron, do you think there's any viability to having these closer together, because it's the first annual, but with such a tremendous response? There's certainly a lot of people who need this taken care of, and given the fact there are a lot of people who need to get to work, there are a lot of folks out there driving on suspended license and things like that. Do you think, and we may be precipitous to say, but do you think there's any viability to making it just a little closer than an annual event? Oh,
absolutely. Our goal is to hopefully do this quarterly and to spread it out around the county. This particular location, maybe leans a little bit more towards the east. We would love to go out on the west side with you and spread it there. So this is absolutely something that we'd like to expand, both in terms of the number of dates and then also where we do it geographically.
Outstanding. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what people can expect when they show up. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. We're joined by Ryan Mears. He's the Deputy Trial Attorney at the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, and here's talking about a special event, Second Chance Workshop. July 23rd, give us some times and locations.
Yeah, so it's 3 to 7. It's at the Marion County Health Department. The specific address is 4012 North Rural Street, but it's essentially at 38th and Keystone. If you know where the Meadows YMCA is, it's right next to there.
There's a lot of collaboration around this. Talk about some of the collaborating partners, if you will.
Yeah, so obviously I have to thank the Baptist Minister Alliance and their work and Pastor Moore for your leadership on this issue.
Thank you.
I also need to thank Sheriff Forstall. We contacted Sheriff Forstall. We said, this is our idea. Would you be interested in partnering with us? And as usual, he said anything he can do to help. And so he's been helpful in not only spreading the word, but also helping provide logistical support and assisting with this. So I can't thank the Sheriff's Office enough for everything that they've done in order to make this event work. The Marion County Health Department, the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic is going to be working with us there. They're going to provide some of the attorneys who are going to be working there. The Expungement Health Desk that's actually located in the City County building, they're going to be there. And of course, the Community Resurrection Partnership.
Outstanding.
Yeah, how can, for instance, the indigent situations, how will you go about making decisions on those who will receive those papers to give to those indigent persons?
Yeah, we trust people. You know, I think a lot of times when people come in, you know, they're telling us about difficult moments in their life. And usually under those circumstances, people are pretty truthful. And so we're going to ask people candidly, you know, kind of assess your financial situation. Are you in a position to pay? And we understand that, you know, the filing fee, which is right around $170, that's a significant burden for some people. And that should not be a barrier to someone getting that taken off their record so they can be able to, you know, get job or, you know, gain employment in
Or
the
to
future.
keep their job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or to keep their job. Tell us about the idea of how the license situation is going to work. We were talking about it during the break. Pastor Jackson, you want to elaborate on that and probably reiterate that?
Kind of what the day is going to look like. You come in and we talk about expungement and driver's license restoration and what that means.
Yeah, so it's really a sad fact. You know, there are over 100,000 people in Marion County who have their driver's license suspended,
Wow.
and that's far too many people. And so what we need to do is we need to get those people legal so they can be driving again, so they can get to work and not feel like they're committing a crime when they're just trying out there to provide for their family. And so one of the ways that we can do that is, you know, a lot of times people's licenses are suspended just because they get a traffic ticket and they don't have the money to pay, or they don't receive notice of a court date, and then those default judgments are entered against them, and it just kind of snowballs, and then they wake up one day and their license has been suspended. What we want to do is we want those people to come in, and we want to talk to those people, and we want to say, okay, you didn't show up for court this day, or you were unable to pay these traffic tickets. Let's set aside these judgments. Let's move to set aside those default judgments. Let's take those off your record, and maybe let you start with a blank slate so you can move forward, get legal, and get your license. And so that's something that we're going to try to do in partnership with our private attorneys. Judge Pratt, who's the judge out in criminal court.
Phenomenal judge.
Great judge, and also someone who's very understanding and is always trying to help people. He's a part of this as well in terms of setting aside those default judgments so we can get people on the right track to get their license back.
And you know what? It also, Pastor Jackson and Attorney Mears, it also prevents the jail from being crowded. You know, because if you get caught driving, as you would suggest, dirty, you're going down to the Marion County Jail. And that would prevent some of the jail crowding. Because, you know, you get caught like that, you could spend up to 2 or 3 days in jail till you get OR'd out,
right.
or somebody, you know, sends an attorney to make sure you can get out of that particular situation. So it's going to be a preventative measure for the Marion County Jail as it relates to crowding down there as well. So it's doing a lot of things in the community. It's helping a lot of agencies as well to get a lot of things done for those in the community. And this is what I say wholeheartedly, that if you got an issue, one of these issues, you need to be there on the 23rd to get this eradicated, because I haven't heard any prosecutor in the country doing this at this particular stage of the game, doing a second chance workshop. And I think we coined the slogan with Second Chance Phillips. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Second Chance Phil, we were on the radio.
It was on the radio, and so
We don't mind
We were
borrowing.
actually,
you can have it.
we were actually singing.
Yes.
We won't sing here.
We won't do that here. No. But it's phenomenal. And I claim it. It's going to work. It's going to work. I'm just hoping you can handle the crowd.
Yeah, and I think the message I just would want to leave with people is, this really is in response to our conversations with people in the community like you guys. And we want people to be able to get back up on their feet, and we want them to be able to go to work, to drive to work without fear of getting pulled over. We want people to be able to apply for jobs and not have to worry about, hey, is someone going to ask me about my past, even though that has no reflection of who I am today. And we're hoping that this event will put a lot of people in a better position moving forward. We think jobs are going to come out of this. We think people driving legally is going to come out of this. And hopefully this is an event that's going to really put a lot of people in a much better position than they were before.
And I hope that even in the future, that since we're going to be a community with body cams, that the prosecutor's office will take time to explain both sides of that badge when that body camera comes into fruition, which would be good for the community, because I think many of us react because we don't have the proper and the accurate knowledge about how something is working. And I think in the future, that would be one of the things that I think the prosecutor's office needs to do, is to create a workshop for community areas to understand the process of how these body cams are going to work and how the policy is attached to them. Because, every city is sitting on a powder keg of something that could disrupt the total administration. And that would be something to look forward to in the future as well.
And that's one of the things I appreciate really about working with you guys is you're always willing to sit down and have those conversations and listen to both sides. There might be times when we see things a little bit differently, but I think the important part is having those conversations. And you guys are great because you have that direct link to the community where you can share maybe messages from conversations or meetings that we have.
Yeah, right. Because I think the prosecutor's office, in my estimation, in the 21st century, ought to be a friend of the community.
Absolutely.
I think it ought to be a friend of the community, but it still has to honor its role in the community as a lawgiver, and we have to respect that. And the more you communicate, the more the community will understand your role in the community, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. And it should be noted and emphasized, this is not a warrant surrender.
Right.
Absolutely. So
that comes later.
That comes later, and Sheriff Forstall is actually working on a new program to help people be able to surrender peacefully and without issue. But this is just to address prior convictions and driver's license issues.
Yeah.
So with 100,000 or more people out there with license issues, I'm sure the insurance company is going to be happy too.
Yeah, we think this is a win for everybody in our community.
Right.
I think in listening to your comments, I think what we want everybody to understand is we all want this community to be safe, but we all want this community to be fair. And part of that is getting people back on the right track and putting them in positions to be successful. And that's what we're going to do on July 23rd.
And if you could recap the time and location for us.
Sure. It is on Tuesday, July 23rd at the Marion County Health Department. It's at 4012 North Rural Street. And the hours are from 3 to 7 o'clock, and we will be sure to do more, and hopefully you guys will help us spread that word.
We will. Could you do it one more time in this particular camera?
Sure, absolutely. So Tuesday, July 23rd, Marion County Health Department, 4012 North Rural Street, which is essentially at 38th and Keystone. The hours are 3 o'clock to 7.
And if folks who see this show up and they're not registered, is there going to be something in place where they could be registered or at least on a waiting list?
Yeah, we'd prefer that people register online and get on that waiting list, because then we actually have the ability to communicate with them, and then we can identify what their issue is, and then we're also keeping a list of those names so we can reach out to them when we do it a second time.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
going to be phenomenal.
register and don't just show up.
Right.
All right. So thank you very much. You've been a great guest. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate your guys' time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We've got the rundown in just a moment. We'll be back. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined by our executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Great show, great information.
Yeah.
100,000 people.
Are driving dirty, as you say.
There's a song.
Yeah, well, it's not in the church, though. Is
No, you didn't find it in the church.
We want to keep Jesus in this.
I don't think we could even play it on this.
No, we couldn't play it
family
on
station.
this station. We couldn't do it here.
But there's people driving dirty out there, and not necessarily because they really want to.
don't have the resources to fix it.
Right.
He said something that was so profound. He says people get involved in that snowball effect. You know, they might have a ticket and the date is distorted or something goes wrong, and so they get in a snowball and they forget about it, and so it accumulates more fees. And
Yeah, the county doesn't forget.
yeah. And we need to just be conscious of the fact that BMV, what is it, the motor vehicle where
Bureau
you
of
get your
Motor
license?
Vehicles, right.
Yeah, I mean, that needs to be restructured.
I agree.
That needs to be structured. There are people who have tickets from 1985 still on their record because of the BMV motor vehicle people. So that needs to be constructed. You know, they need to stop taking so much money in and put it to work to update the system and to eradicate some of those things, which can hurt a person in the future because that is on their record that they have not taken care of yet.
Exactly. And just think how many jobs and how many lives and how much economic development didn't occur because people are afraid to come forward or people feel like they can't address these issues and they don't want to get caught up, or they get a job and it shows up.
Yeah, and you're talking about millions and millions of dollars that the state views as income from this ticket and other situations. But there are people who are trying to work on this to help these people get into those type of situations, get out of those type of situations, which are going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And this second chance workshop is phenomenal. If you have, you need to be expunged, start the process.
Yeah.
You're indigent, don't have the money, still start the process because we have arranged and fixed it to where your initial fee is going to be taken care of. And I think that's phenomenal. I think the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is trying to reach beyond its walls and reach into the community and be the type of prosecutor's office that is user-friendly.
I like the collaboration, the BMA, which is the Baptist Ministers Alliance, and many, many others.
Right.
It's a wonderful collaboration.
It is, and that's what we got to do in this city, to collaborate. Let's not get hung up on people's attitudes and their dispositions, and that would we let cause collaboration not to happen.
There's 100,000 people hoping
Hoping that this will work for them.
that won't get in the way.
That's exactly right.
The needs of the people are more important than
Egos.
political
Ambitions and egos.
Yeah. We'll leave it right there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.